So yeah, if they make an example out of this woman, whatever. I'm here for it. This is what I voted for. Let's do it. Welcome back. Be sure to subscribe. Let's get right to it. First topic, Trump called out Biden's doctor. Go ahead, take a look at the clip.
Given to everybody, but it's given just about, and it takes a long time to get to that situation. Now, I think, to get to a stage 9, I think that if you take a look, it's the same doctor that said that Joe was cognitively fine. There was nothing wrong with him. Well, he said, if it's the same doctor, he said there was nothing wrong there, and that's being proven to be a sad situation. And the auto pen is becoming a very big deal. The auto pen is becoming a big deal because it seems like that maybe was the president who ever operated the auto pen. But when they say that that was not good, they also, you have to look and you have to say that the test was not so good either. In other words, there are things going on that the public wasn't informed, and I think somebody's going to have to speak to his doctor. If it's the same, or even if it's two separate doctors, why wasn't the cognitive ability, why wasn't that discussed? And I think the doctor said he's just fine.
Yeah, so good on Trump for calling this doctor out. He totally needed to be called out. Everything with Biden was hidden. We all know about the cognitive decline. That was just blatantly obvious. But now it's coming out that the guy hid his cancer for 5 to 7 years, probably at least. It's like, Jesus, what won't the Democrats do? You know what I'm saying? It's gotten pretty obvious that the difference between Democrats and Republicans is if they're met with some sort of adversity or a situation that doesn't look good, the Republicans will basically, all right, we need to figure this out, let's address it, and let's move on. The Democrats, it's basically, okay, we need to hide, cheat, steal, do whatever we can to not address this situation and just make it go away without giving any sort of rhyme or reason to what's going on. That's the fundamental difference between Republicans and Democrats. One side takes responsibility and owns it. The other, they don't. They don't even want to address it. But yeah, I mean, and where was Dr. Jill in all this, folks? I mean, Dr. Jill is just got to be one of the worst human beings on the planet. When she knows that her husband is in serious mental decline, is pretty much, mentally gone, and she realizes that her husband's got cancer for a good 5 to 7 years, yet she's still peddling him out there, even for the latest appearance on The View, like last week. It's like, dude, you're still letting him go out there. Any self-respecting wife would never let their husband even be seen in that type of condition, let alone peddled out in front of everybody. But yeah, good on Trump for calling out this doctor. Let me know if you think this doctor needs to face some sort of criminal charges, if that's even possible, for hiding from the American people that the president of the United States had cancer and cognitive decline. It's just insane, folks. But all right, let's get to the next topic. So Bernie Sanders basically admits that the Democrats are corrupt. Go ahead, take a look at the clip.
The problem I think a lot of voters had is like they didn't even know if it was her. We didn't even know if Biden was president. We didn't even know if these were her talking points. And we felt that over the last 4 elections, Democrats, we felt that we didn't have a say on who could be president. We talk a lot about the Republicans being autocrats and oligarchs and taking over democracy, but from the Democrat perspective, and I'm a lifelong Democrat, I felt like the Democratic Party completely removed the democratic process from its constituents. And I think they need to have some accountability of that.
No argument here.
I donated for you. I mean, I wanted you to, like, 2016, I was like, this is going to happen. This guy's going to do it. And it felt like they stole it from me. And I'll be honest, it broke my heart when you supported them.
Look, but you have, in the world that I live in, you got a choice. And I mean, a lot of people, including my wife, agree with you. But, you're down to a choice. Is it going to be Hillary Clinton or is it going to be Donald Trump? Not a great choice.
But it ended up being him anyway, so why don't we burn it down?
Well, because it's easy to say burning it down means that children are not going to have, food to eat, that the schools will deteriorate, people will not have health care.
I got it.
And I'm an elected official. I got to represent the people.
That's fair.
And I can't turn my back on.
But then could we not also say if ostensibly there hasn't been a fair primary for the Democrats since 2008, are they not also a threat to democracy? Yes. We often hear.
Fair enough. That is, yeah, I'm not going to argue with that point.
Yeah, so pretty much everybody knows this is common knowledge. The Democrats are just corrupt. They haven't had a primary since 2008. I mean, look at Kamala. She was just, inserted as the candidate, never got an actual vote, but all of a sudden she's running for president. Bernie got screwed in 2016 they chose Hillary over him, so he wasn't going to get the nod, and they weren't going to allow a vote because he would have probably got the nod. But yeah, I mean, it's funny because, like, the Democrats are always talking about how Trump's going to ruin the democracy, and they just do that to a T. That's all they do, right? They're just trying to destroy America, destroy democracy, blah, 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 whatever left-wing talking point they're saying Trump's going to do. They're already doing it, folks. They're already doing it, and they're going to keep doing it because that's just them. That's their game plan. That's all they know. And it's just we're going to be corrupt. We're going to be corrupt to the end. That's it. But all right, let's get to the next topic here. So Representative LaMonica McIver will be facing charges for storming an ICE facility. Go ahead, take a look at the clip.
We're getting some breaking news, and we want to ask you about it, but apparently, Alina Habba, who is, what's her job now? She's the acting. She's had a couple. New Jersey, yeah. She is the interim U.S. attorney for the District of New Jersey.
She's acting all right.
She's acting. Well, she has apparently now dismissed charges against Mayor Ras Baraka of Newark, so no longer being charged. He went to court last Thursday, but it is being reported that she has apparently filed charges against New Jersey Congresswoman LaMonica McIver. And I'm wondering your reaction to this news as we're trying to find more information. I don't believe the indictment has been unsealed yet, but our team, NBC News, is efforting to find out. But just your reaction to this.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm just learning the news as we all are now. It is chilling. The reason why they're doing this is to shut me and my Democratic colleagues up. They're doing it to make us afraid. It's not going to work. If anything, it will only strengthen our resolve. But make no mistake about it, this is not normal. It is not the sort of thing that happens in a healthy democracy. It is truly chilling. And I would urge all of my colleagues, both Democrats and Republicans, even those Republicans who say one thing in private about Trump, but then never want to say it in public, this should be a time when every member of Congress speaks out.
Yeah, so remember, folks, these are the people that told you J6 was like the worst thing that ever happened to our country. And this is exactly what this is the same exact thing as J6. They're storming a government building, basically, yet the difference is these are government officials, folks, and they want to just talk to you about how righteous they are and how on the right side of history they are as government officials, even though they were telling you that the J6 are storming the Capitol, pretty much being just let in, I mean, that's essentially what happened. But now they're telling you that J6 is terrible, but them trying to storm an ICE facility and take out gang members and let them back into society is, that's just being a good American, Or like, that's our civic duty, or what? It's so funny how these people just, everything is like, contradicting, and it's just every time they get to a new point in life, they just have to basically take 3 more steps back, because they're not taking any steps forward these days, folks. Let me know a time when the Democrat Party has taken a step forward in the past 5 years, basically. It just hasn't happened. And these people like these LaMonica McIvers, and they think they're on the right side of history and the right side of America, going in, trying to bust out gang members. It's like, dude, why don't you start doing something for Americans for once? These people do nothing for Americans, and they basically just want to make life harder for Americans and destroy America, because that's what they do. So yeah, I hope this person gets, charged, hopefully to the fullest extent of the law. If they need to make an example out of this woman, frankly, I don't care, right? I mean, go ahead, because we don't need to see this type of crap anymore. We already have been told how terrible it is to storm a government building and just blah, blah, blah. So yeah, if they make an example out of this woman, whatever. I'm here for it. This is what I voted for. Let's do it. But all right, let's get to the next topic here. the world basically needed Trump. Go ahead, take a look at the clip.
I will summarize the president's trip with an anecdote that I heard directly from a member of one of the foreign delegations. I asked him how hopeful their country was when they learned President Trump won the election. And he told me when President Trump won the election, it was like the lights turned on in a dark room. For the past 4 years to the rest of the world, America was dark. We were unresponsive. We did not pick up the phone. We did not return calls. All of that has changed under the leadership of this president. And I think the world saw that last week with this historic and wildly successful trip. And the work continues.
Yeah, so isn't it great that it's coming out that the world basically loves Trump and needed Trump? Obviously, he's going to make America great again, and that's what we voted him in to do, but it's all going to come full circle, and he's going to make the world great again. The guy's ending wars. He's, doing peace deals, restructuring global trade. The guy is just doing it all. He's doing everything he said he was going to do, and it's pretty impressive. If you're not impressed by Trump, the guy is almost 80 years old. The guy barely ever sleeps. He's going to countries, just multiple countries in a week, just doing tours, doing rallies. It's insane what the guy can do. And I'm glad that the rest of the world can appreciate Trump. They understand that they needed Trump, and they're basically celebrating the fact that Trump is back in office, much like the Americans, right? But yeah, it just goes to show you, folks, that if you get somebody in there who's respected, unlike a Biden who was completely not respected, it just makes the whole world better. The whole world's a better place. And basically, everybody is going to prosper. Not just America, everybody. And that's what Trump wants. Trump wants the whole world to prosper. He doesn't want any stupid wars. He doesn't want a bunch of BS going on. The guy just wants every country to be at their best, right? And how could you want anything more? How could you want anything more? But all right, that's it for today. Be sure to like, subscribe, and we'll be seeing you